Hello, good morning, students. Please subscribe the channel, drop a like, share, and comment. This is Shree Vishnu Art Press Publications, exercise number 7 and 8 on the speed of 90 words per minute. Start. Shri Shekhar Malhotra learned senior counsel appearing for the appellants argued that as the DRT Act and Securitization Act have been enacted by the Parliament under Article 2461 of the Constitution for speedy recovery of debts due to banks or financial institutions or for enforcement of security interest by the secured creditors and overriding effect has been given to these legislations. The provisions contained therein will have primacy over state legislations which have been enacted under Article 2462 of the Constitution and under which first charge has been created in favor of the state in respect of the dues of sales tax, etc. He further argued that even though the central and state legislations have not been enacted with reference to a particular entry in List 3 in the 7th schedule, Article 254 will get attracted and the Kerala and Bombay High Courts committed an error by refusing to accept the submission that banks, financial institutions, and secured creditors have priority in the matter of recovery of debts or enforcement of security interest vis-a-vis the state's right to recover the dues of sales tax, etc. He further submitted that in view of Article 2541 of the Constitution, provisions contained in state laws which are repugnant to or inconsistent with central legislations are liable to be ignored. Sri Rakesh Dwivedi, learned senior counsel appearing for the states of Kerala and Maharashtra respectively, argued that even though the DRT Act and Securitization Act contain non-obstant clauses suggesting that the provisions contained therein would prevail over other laws, the same must be interpreted keeping in view the legislative policy underlying those enactments, and if they are so interpreted, Section 38C of the Bombay Act and Section 26B of the Kerala Act and similar provisions contained in other state legislations by which first charge has been created on the property of the dealer or any other person liable to pay sales tax, etc., cannot be treated inconsistent with central legislations. Sri Dwivedi submitted that the DRT Act and Securitization Act have been enacted to speed up the recovery of the dues of banks, financial institutions, and secured creditors, but there is no provision in the two enactments by which first charge has been created in favor of banks, etc., and therefore the provisions contained in state legislations creating first charge in respect of the dues of sales tax, etc., cannot be treated as inconsistent with central legislations. Sri Dwivedi further submitted that levy and collection of tax etc. is sovereign function as well as necessity of the state, and as such the state has exclusive plenary power to legislate on that subject, and in the absence of any provision in the DRT Act or Securitization Act creating first charge in favor of the banks etc. in lieu of their dues, these legislations cannot be given overriding effect qua the provisions contained in the state legislations and right of the state to recover the dues of sales tax. Mr. S.K. Sinha, learned senior counsel appearing on behalf of the SSC, submitted that the purchasing dealers were registered dealers under the local act. They were also registered dealers under the said 1956 Act. According to learned counsel, the dealers had purchased the goods locally from the SSE in Delhi on the strength of their registration certificates by issuing prescribed declarations under the local act, and therefore the said purchases were local purchases in the hands of said dealers. According to learned counsel, after purchasing the goods in Delhi and getting delivery at the factory of the appellant, the purchasing dealers had stored the goods in their godowns in Delhi. According to learned counsel, the purchasing dealers were selling the goods purchased from the appellant either by making local sales in Delhi or by making interstate sales to their own buyers outside Delhi or by making branch transfers to their own branches outside Delhi. Learned counsel next contended that a local sale cannot be deemed to take place in the course of interstate trade or commerce simply because the buyer has been assigned a territory. According to learned counsel, Section 3A of the 1956 Act creates a deeming fiction. It provides that a sale or purchase shall be deemed to take place in the course of interstate trade or commerce if the sale or purchase occasion movement of goods from one state to another. Thus, according to learned counsel, in order to be covered by Section 3A, the sale in question itself must occasion movement of goods from one state to another. According to learned counsel, Section 3A is not attracted merely because the purchasing dealer has been assigned a territory outside the local area. According to learned counsel, assignment of territory is different from a sale occasioning movement of goods. Mere assignment of territory by itself, according to learned counsel, does not mean that the sale by the SSE to the dealer occasioned the movement of goods to the assigned territories. According to learned counsel, the goods in question were sold locally in Delhi by the appellant, and the appellant was not concerned with subsequent sale. The purchasing dealer had no obligation to occasion the movement of goods to the assigned territories pursuant to or as an incident of the appellant's sale to them. The appellant has sold the goods locally to the purchasing dealers who were free to sell the goods to their own buyers in the assigned territories in either of the three ways mentioned above. There was no bar or restriction on the purchasing dealers on selling the goods in any of the three modes mentioned above. Learned counsel further submitted that under clause 3 of the said agreement it was made clear that in the event of the purchasing dealers desiring the assessee to transport the goods to their assigned territories outside Delhi, they would pay the freight charges and also be liable to for central sales tax.